I feel like I'm pushing buttons without actually seeing the big picture.
Have you looked into the Avalanche course from BaseCamp14?
Do they even tell us about different views?
We didn't put everything one shot. We did this, on need basis, right? When we came to timing, we wanted to add more information. We added that. When we went to we wanted to compute power, we said, okay, now how do I get this information? So let's add that, right? So that's how we sort of organically build that.
I heard they help us understand synthesis too.
Second, and the setup slack in this case. I mean, we are just computing setup here, right? So when you're computing setup slack, it's 100 picosecond. Let's say if the path delay is 1.1, then the setup slack becomes negative 100 picosecond, right? So said, the whole thing is also dependent on the electrical effort in addition to the logical effort.
How about checking the equivalence?
That's right. We took the adder with flops on either side, and then we picked some hypothetical cases, right, where the logic between design 1 and design 2 could be different, right? So
I'm excited to learn about the floor plan.
In which metal layer, right? We talked a little bit about what does the pin mean, right? Pin, the standard cell region in context of the die, and then in context of the package, right? So we talked about all these details, created a power delivery network to meet those targets, right?
How about placement?
We also talked about pin density, which basically says in a given box, if you have 2 pins.
Why is it even called a clock tree?
We also talked about period, right? The change in period, or we call it as jitter.
Let me jot down the notes for routing.
If I have a net as part of the timing path, but it's longer, the router can choose to use a higher metal layers, which are less resistive than using the lower metal layers, right? So that's all part of timing aware or timing driven routing.
GDS, CDL, LVS. I always get confused with the short forms.
We also talked about CDL, which describes the circuit, using a bunch of transistors and its connections, right? It describes the circuit as a bunch of transistors and, connections between them.
What else does the course cover?
The digital design into a timing graph, how to navigate that graph to identify a timing path, what is the start point, what is the end point.
Awesome. What next?
So we'll try to cover all of this in the next learning series.